Hi everybody, my name is Lori and I am the door dashing grandma. I have decided I'm going to go ahead and try this DoorDash thing. Everybody's raving about how much quick money you can make doing DoorDash, so I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to start off guaranteeing that I will do it for a week, and I'm going to keep you updated on how everything goes for the week. So there'll be separate little videos kind of all put together so you can see how the week goes. So between you and me, we're going to find out whether this DoorDash thing is really worth it, like they say it is. So hang on, we're going to go for a ride. Hopefully it's not a bumpy one. Okay, I'll be back. Hi everybody, this is Lori and I am the door dashing grandma, and this is our first night. We're going to give this DoorDash stuff a shot and see if it's worth it. Just a little bit of background. I am in North Carolina where it is 95 degrees with 95% humidity, so it's like a killer weather out there. I have to drive to the next town to do this because my town does not even have DoorDash. And it is a Monday, which normally would be the slowest night ever. Now, for somebody first doing this, that's probably a good thing because, you know, even if you just get a couple of orders, at least you're learning what to do. So I'll take you along with me on my first night and we'll see what happens. See you in a while. Well, so far it's been a nightmare. The app went down in the middle of my first dash, so I picked up the food but could not find the woman's house or get to her address or anything. So I had to call and wait for them to find it. They couldn't find me in their computer. Then they found me. Then they gave me her address. Then they called her and had her call me so that I could deliver to her. So I guess, you know, it starts off complicated so everything else gets easier. My second one was pretty easy. The app's back online again and it's working. So now I am sitting here waiting for another dash, and I hope it happens soon because I don't really want to sit around here in the heat just waiting. Oh my gosh, I look terrible. I'm going to put my mask on. I look better with a mask. So I will check back in. It is, I don't know what time is it now, 5:57, and so let's see how long it takes until I get another dash. Okay, bye. Okay, this is not good. I'm on my fourth order. I turned one down because it was only for $3 and took this one, and it was supposed to be ready 15 minutes ago. I am still sitting here waiting. The person that it's going to doesn't allow texts from DoorDash, so I guess maybe he called on a landline, and when I called to leave him a message or talk to him, all I could do was leave a message. I got no answer. Oops, and there's DoorDash wanting to know why I'm so late. I'll be back. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish up on my first night for you. It's the next, not even morning, actually, it's afternoon, because by the time I got done, it was ridiculous, so I'll get into that. So last night, on our first night, we did 4 dashes. The first dash, which should have been very simple, the app went down in the middle of it. Now, if the app goes down, the GPS to where you're going goes down. And if you haven't taken a screenshot or something to note what the address is that you're going to, you're kind of screwed. You know, you're left with having no idea where you're supposed to go, which is exactly where I was. So I kept trying to get the app to come back up, and it wouldn't. I ended up calling DoorDash and getting the phone number of the customer and calling her, and so she gave me directions and I finally got there. She rated me 5 stars. She understood when, you know, I told her the app went down and her address got lost, and that was good. So the only thing that it affected was my delivering on time stats. from what I understand, they're not important unless you're trying to be some super dasher, and I'm not. I'm doing this for the money, not for, obviously, you know, I don't need to be a super dasher at age 62. I'm just, you know, seeing if it gives me a little bit of extra, I don't know, spending money, wasting money, I guess you'd call it. So that was my first one. My second and my third orders were both very good. They went exactly the way they were supposed to. You get the notification, you go to the restaurant, you walk in, the order's ready, you pick it up, you go to the address, you drop it off, you're done. They worked out great. My last one was a total and complete nightmare, and I'll explain what happened to you. I live close to the beach. The town that I'm dashing in, which I actually have to drive to because they don't do it in my town. It's like 2 towns down, but I figured it'd be worth it. It's right by the beach. And so when this dash came up to go from a restaurant named Chopsticks to right over the bridge on the beach, I thought, okay, that'll be fine. Close enough. The bridge is just, you know, half a mile bridge. You go up, you go down, and you're supposed to be there. So I go and I accept it. I strive to get $2 per mile. That's what I want. I won't accept anything that's $3 or $4 for the dash. That's just, I mean, it takes you that much to start your car. It's just stupid. So for me to accept it, it has to be $2 a mile. So I accepted this one because it was supposed to be a $16 dash. It was $170 worth of food. So I took it. So the first thing that happened, as you saw from the video, is I sat there in the heat, 95 degrees and horribly humid. I took the top off the car and I sat there and I waited and waited. And it took a half an hour for me to actually get this order to deliver it. So the first thing that does is it dings you as being late again, even though it's not your fault. I mean, it was the restaurant, it wasn't me. But the app will put it in as you being late. So I got another late ding for that. And then when I finally got the food, I went to the address that they gave me, and there was no such address. They gave me 226 Fort Macon Road. No such address as 226 Fort Macon Road. There's nothing. There's an apartment complex just slightly up the road. I went there, I stopped the car, and I called DoorDash. And I said, there's no such address. I tried to call the customer because you're given the customer's phone number. But when I went to dial it, it came up on the app that this customer was not taking calls from DoorDash. I'll get to that. That's interesting too. So I called them and I explained to the first customer service person what was going on. And, you know, they spent 10 minutes looking at the app and looking here and looking there and trying to figure something out. And then finally they hung up on me. Well, I'm sitting there with $170 worth of food in my car. I mean, if it had been a McDonald's order for $5, I just would have, you know, I mean, okay, that's $5. I'm not going to complete this order and DoorDash can deal with it. But this was $170 worth of food. So I called DoorDash back again. Now, mind you, their customer service representatives are all in South America. So sometimes you can understand them, and sometimes you can't. So customer service representative number 2 could not understand me. I could not understand them. They didn't even know what I was trying to say. They kept telling me the address was 220 whatever Fort Macon Drive, which it wasn't. And so hung up and tried again. The third person that I called knew what they were doing, looked in the computer and said, no, that address is totally wrong. The app didn't print out the whole address. It is 1100 Fort Macon Drive, apartment 226. And I'm like, okay, headed that way. So that put an extra 4.5 to 5 miles each way on this dash. So I'm driving another 10 miles for this. And so I drove and I get there, and lo and behold, it's this huge complex with 8 different buildings. And in the address, there's no building number. I mean, that was 8 different room 226s. So it's kind of like, okay, well, I can't go up to every room 226 and say, did you order from DoorDash? You know, and give the food to the wrong person. You can't do that. So I'm calling DoorDash back again. They're still not understanding what I'm trying to say. And finally, they figured out a way. They hooked me up with the customer. I was on the phone. They tried to call the customer. They got through. And then they hooked us up together. Found out she was in building number 2. Went to building number 2. She met me downstairs to pick up her food. In the meantime, while I'm there and she's at the car picking up her food, the phone rings and it's DoorDash. So I'm getting $170 worth of food out of my car. So I push the button to answer and I push speaker. And they asked me, you know, why have you not delivered this order yet? And I said, well, I'm delivering it now. And if you look at your records, you'll see there was a huge delay because y'all entered the address wrong. And the guy says, oh, no, we didn't enter the address wrong. I'm sure that was the customer. Some of them just are too stupid to fill it out correctly. Well, the customer heard that. And the customer started having a fit, and I can't blame her. I would have done the same thing. And she started yelling at this guy saying, hey, look, I'm the customer. I ordered $170 worth of food that you were responsible for. I put the address in correctly. And then I was right there with her. I said, I have been trying to get this order delivered for over an hour, and I know you all had the right address because one of your customer service reps, number 3, gave me the right address, finally, after everybody else didn't understand what I was saying. So he kind of, you know, I mean, put his tongue back in his mouth and said, okay, just get the delivery over with. And by this time I'm thinking, okay, I don't know if they can fire you from DoorDash, but, you know, I don't really care at this point. Because in the end, it paid me $19. And I had to go 17 and 17, 34 miles basically to deliver this thing. Now remember, I'm going for $2 a mile here, and yeah, no, I didn't know. It was like 50 cents a mile. It's like a no. So I finally got home and I was so frustrated that I went ahead and I called. I went through the same thing again. I went through 5 customer service reps and supervisors before I could find one that would understand me. And long story short, when he saw what happened, he said he was going to go ahead and comp me $9.95 on my pay because I did go all those extra miles, and he could see where the error was made. And I was like, thank you very much, you know. Now, the question of whether that's going to show up in my paycheck or not remains to be seen when the paycheck comes in on Monday. So, am I going to do it again? Yeah, because I said I was going to go ahead and do it a couple of times. Maybe it was just a really bad night, and it's not always like that. I don't know. That was, you know, 2 out of 4, that's 50%. That's pretty not so good. So, but we're going to give it another chance and see what happens. I can see where, if everything goes the way that it's supposed to, I can see where you can make decent money doing this. But that's the if. I've since done some research. Earlier this morning, they say the app goes down at least 3 times every Friday because of it being so busy. So, you know, where you could be making a lot of money on a busy night, you're stuck sitting there because the app's down and you don't know what you're doing or where you're going. So I'm going to be prepared for that, where I know enough now to go ahead and take a screenshot of where I'm going and a screenshot of the customer's phone number just in case the app goes down. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens, and I'll let you know at the end of the week. And I don't know if we're going out again tonight or if it'll be tomorrow. When you schedule your shifts, there's only certain times that you can pick up, and right now the only shift that I can pick up today, it says, is from 3 o'clock in the afternoon until 8 o'clock at night. Well, there's no deliveries between 3 and 5. It's ridiculous. And so I'm going to do a thing that where I'm going to, at 5 o'clock, I'm going to see if I can dash. you know, which will mean if nobody's taking that 3 to 5 shift because nobody wants it, at 5 o'clock, if I ask if I can dash, or 4:30, you know, they'll say yeah, because we don't have anybody doing it. So that's my plan for tonight. We'll see if it works, and I'll keep you updated. Thanks.